I know. I'll be back in a second. Just having a bit of a technical issue. There we go. All right, playing with my toys this morning. Hey, folks, how are we all going? Welcome to the Wealth Coffee Chat live this morning. While we're just getting all warmed up and zoned in, say a quick hello to the regulars coming back. Good morning, Deirdre. Good morning, James. Good morning, Facebook user, whoever that is. Good to see you guys here. Welcome. Great to see you, James, Bob, Graham. The regulars coming back. Morning, Justin. Good to see you lot on the call this morning on the live. For anyone who's new, give us a shout out. But if you're new, Jason Witten is my name. Been property investing over 20 years, coaching property investors across Australia and New Zealand over 18. And each morning, a few of the regulars like Dean, like Alison, like Pratesh, and like the love of my life, always supporting me, which is awesome. Pop on by, say, hey, good morning, Chad, all the way from YouTube. That's awesome, mate. Thank you for dropping by. There you go. Oh, half of Melbourne's down. Well, there you go. I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know, Alison. Shout out to the Melbourneites. Maybe you're not even on this morning. Maybe you can't jump on because of the power outage, but there you go. Hopefully you're all safe and well this morning after sounds like a bit of a gnarly night. Jimmy, Craig, Bradley, everyone's on this morning, which is awesome and excellent. But hey, listen, today, a bit of a shout out yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but they said, hey, listen, this gap process, the gap between our rents and our expenses, tell me more about how we can accelerate the debt reduction part of building our portfolio. So that's what I thought I'd do this morning, gang, and see if we can't go through a little bit of that. So hang with me. I'll pop on over to my camera over here, wet and windy and cold old Melbourne. But Craig's got some power. That's good, mate. That's good news for you, for sure. So yeah, anyway, a bit of a shout out to the Melbourneites. Stay safe. You're having a bit of a rough trot of it, aren't you? Lockdown and crazy weather. Anyway, good things. Melbourne always bounces back. We certainly know that. Hey, good morning, whoever that is. Right, so let's do this. I'll see if my setup here works for us today. Let's have a bit of a look at that. Hopefully you guys can see that. Give me a shout out in the comments if you're looking, if you can see it. Looks like it'll be fine. Away you go. Might put a light on. A little bit more lit up as we go along. So that's good, gang. We're all on this morning, the Wealth Coffee Chat. So let's have a look at this. Debt reduction. Reduce our expenses. As I said yesterday, we were talking about the idea that, over time, if we are looking at our rents, over time going up, what we want is over time our costs and expenses to go down, and we want to end up with a reasonably large gap between our expenses and our income. So that is where we all know the world of positive cash flow lives. That's where the cash flow for our future passive income is going to be housed. I'm going to turn off one of those lights just to make it a bit easier. Should have set up my lighting a little bit better today, but let's see how we go. Give me a shout out if that lighting's a bit dodgy, and we'll adjust it. So let's go through the idea of debt reduction, gang. Debt reduction. Number one, debt reduction for all of us is the way we set up our loans. And the easiest way, I don't know, is that the way you spell Fortnite? I think that's the computer game, isn't it? Fortnite? Maybe give me a shout out if I spelt it wrong there. A little bit of dyslexia in my world, so maybe it doesn't look right to me, but anyway, hopefully I have spelt it right. Gang, number one, fortnightly payments. When we set up our loans to begin with, most lenders, a lot of lenders will say, oh, listen, go on a monthly payment, okay? And monthly payments, while for many of us, that might say, oh, yeah, once a month, that's good, I can handle that. It doesn't help us accelerate any debt reduction. What I can tell you with fortnightly payments is that if fortnightly payments, you end up making one extra payment on your annual payment. And for most people, that can save between 5 and 6 years off a loan, okay? So number one, it's a very simple one. It's one anyone can do. It doesn't affect your cash flow. It doesn't affect much at all. Make fortnightly payments, okay? Fortnightly payments, gang. That is very, very important to do that. James is giving us a bit of shout out. What about weekly? James, weekly is perfectly fine as well. But fortnightly compared to monthly tends to end up paying an extra payment. So gang, at the end of the day, let me just quickly clarify the conversation here for a second. The only way to debt reduce is to make extra payments, okay? There's no other way to do it. You know, pay some extra money from somewhere off the loan. Now, the thing is, what we need to do is be smart, as we all are, by studying and learning and understanding, asking questions like James is, you know, fortnightly, weekly, what's the best? Where is the money that we could use from somewhere else to debt reduce and pay off our loans faster, okay? So an extra payment in fortnightly terms is excellent, okay? Number two, for most of us, we don't have extra cash flow on a daily, all right? You know, our lifestyles often rise to the level of income, and unfortunately for most people, most Australians, it rises above their level of income and they end up in some bad debts. But you guys aren't in that space, and if you are, give us a shout out, your coaches, or you need a coach if you haven't got one yet. But what we know is that there is inefficient money in your world, and the number one place for inefficient money, gang, is your taxes that you pay. Remember this, okay? That is the reason we love new property. Not only do you get max tax deductions and get money back from a place in a space that you were not going to get it anyway, your properties are rent for more. So when we do our tax deductions, get our tax back, all right, tax back, and that's why I'm so adamant, gang, so adamant, and I spoke about it the other day, your PAYG variation, okay, I want you to claim that back weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, whatever pay cycle you get, and that becomes, it forms another either payment on the mortgage, or better, I prefer better, it goes into the offset account. You guys know this. If you're in the acquisition phase, which means you are looking to purchase more properties, you want to have access to that money, but it can sit in the offset account, and any money in the offset account is obviously offsetting, saving you that portion of interest. That extra portion of interest that you save, where does it go? Back in the offset account, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So, the tax back. Now, you know, just quickly, you do the math, you work it out, there's calculators everywhere, even we've got a calculator you can download when it comes to working out the tax that you pay, the tax is the place most people have the most efficient situation in their life with when it comes to money. Don't underestimate how powerful that would be. That will be super powerful. If you've got 4 properties, all right? So if you've got 4 properties, gang, in this space here, boop, that tax back, someone on $100,000 could get $20,000 back, 20 grand back in tax per year. Now, what I do know, if you want to pay off a $400,000 loan, if you want to pay off a $400,000 loan in 10 years, you know what that equals? That equals a $2,000 a month or $1,000 a fortnight payment. You can't see that. I'll turn the light off. I'll light it better tomorrow. Okay, a $2,000 a month payment, gang. Okay, so where's that money? That money's going out in your taxes. So go get that money and make the extra payment. Okay, and that's how powerful that stuff can be. The first debt we want to reduce, gang, give us a shout out in the chat. Do we go and pay off our investment properties, or what debt do we pay down first? Come on, let me know. What debt do we pay down first? You guys know this, I'm quite sure. You pay down your principal place of residence. You pay down your PPR. Boom. There it is. Yasmin's in there. Ashley's in there. You pay off your home. Gang, why do you pay your home off first and not your investment properties? Okay, your owner-occupier, absolutely. That property, the debt on that property does not give you any tax deductions, okay? No tax deductions. It's got no tax deductions, and it doesn't create any rent, okay? All it does is save you from paying rent, and sometimes that's not even that useful enough, gang, okay? No deductions. Dead right, gang. The PPR is the first one. Your principal place of residence, boom, pay it off. So there's the 2 simple, straightforward ways to pay off some debt, gang. Those 2 you have to get dialed. Now they're slow and you have to be patient, okay? Now this little process would take you between 10 and 15 years. And every single one of you right now, should know, and it should be part of your plan to pay off your home in under 15 years. If you don't have a pay off your own home in under 15-year plan, number one, you probably don't want to do it. So then move on. This video is not for you. But if you do want to do it, you need to know what it's going to take, and you need to focus on that. Okay, gang? That is very, very important. And Yasmin asked, which one after that should you focus on? The highest loans. We're going to talk about that in a second, Yasmin, which is great. Okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, great. Oh, good shout out, Jeff. Yeah, listen, gang. If you want that depreciation schedule, give Depreciator give Depreciator a call. They look after our positive clients, and Jeff got a good deal on that. So that's awesome, mate. So, yep, good shout out. All right, so these are the 2 easy ones. Anyone can do it anytime. Away we go, okay? Now, let's have a look at the maybe a bit more advanced when it comes to our portfolio and maybe some advanced conversations here. Let's have a look at over time. And we've got 2 ideas as we go along, okay? Now, let's say we have purchased a few properties. Our consolidation and our lifestyle phase as we're going along, okay? Now, gang, all of these properties will sort of, have capital growth at sort of, different rates, okay? And at different times and so on, okay? what we are wanting to do with our investment properties, before we get around to paying off the debts of our investment properties, as Yasmin was asking, once your owner-occupier property is paid off, absolutely, Yasmin, we would be putting the money in an offset account on the highest interest of any one of these investment properties. Okay. By that stage, by the 15-year stage, if you can get your acquisition done early, your rents should be quite significantly positive cash flow. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year across your portfolio, plus your ability to make extra payments now because you don't have an owner-occupier mortgage. That could be an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year. So you get your extra rents in this stage, plus your PPR payment, gang, your PPR payment, okay, because remember this, what we've done is saved you 15 years or maybe 20 years of PPR payments that would have normally been paid anyway, okay? So in my head, in your head, that PPR payment now is for future wealth reinvestment, gang. Just like your tax deductions, just like your PPR, the PPR payments, now they're to be put towards accelerating your wealth, okay? So if your rent was, let's say, $20,000 a year positive cash flow, and your extra payments here were $20,000 a year also, you've now got $40,000 a year of extra payment, extra money in an offset account to accelerate some of the debt reduction, okay? So that's phase one, okay? Get the rent and the extra PPR payment in this, what we all call the end of the consolidation phase. That's the acquisition phase, gang. This is about buying. Remember, this phase is about saving as much money so you can purchase as possible. This phase is about settling in, making sure those properties are maintained and at their peak earning potential, and making sure we get to this point where our principal place of residence is paid off, our rents have gone up, so they're now really positive cash flow, and then you can accelerate this debt reduction, okay? Into the lifestyle phase, let's have a little look at this couple of maneuvers, couple of plays here, okay? Now, there's a couple of things that are worth talking about when we come to debt reduction over here. Now, let's say this one, let's say that one I purchased in my super, okay? I've got two properties in my super, and the super, my payments, my extra payments when it comes to my government contributions or my employer contributions and my extra contributions from me, that property, my two properties, will be debt-free in just under 6 years now, okay? So that I won't have any debt on those two properties in 6 years now. We're at less than 50% debt right now, okay? So that's just smashing down. So for some of us, a property in our super can be debt-free within 10 to 12 years as well, gang, okay? 10 to 12 years as well, okay? So there's one of our investment properties, or maybe even two of our